What's up, good people? Welcome, man, to the latest edition, episode, whatever you want to call it, of the Sim Standard Podcast, Sim Standard Power Hour. Is what we're trying to call it now for the most part. With myself, SimFBallCritic, along with Smitty. We appreciate you guys who are already here. For those of you who are not here yet, obviously you're not hearing this. And for those of you who will watch this on the replay, this is what we typically do, man. Before we get into the topics, we just give a quick recap on anything we might want to cover before we dive into the topics. Tonight's topics, the main one is in the title of the video, and that's probably going to draw a lot of attention. I want to kind of discuss what the NFL 2K game may or may not look like whenever it's released, which seems like it's probably going to be next year from reports that we're hearing. And I just want to give you my perspective on it based on what some people are hoping or anticipating. And I'll just give you my perspective. And then, of course, Smitty will as well. The other thing I want to talk about, man, is at this moment, the three must-have focuses for Madden 24. And I know people are going to say, man, we already on 24. Yes, because at this point, if the game is at a point where you are having fun with the game, now you need to already start putting out there what you want to see it go to, what type of areas you want them to work on. And that's what I'm going to talk about mainly. And maybe we'll get into that first. I don't know because, 2K is the main topic, but we'll see. No particular order. And you guys know I've been telling you guys, last week we were a little bit long, but Thursday nights is a little tougher. So show can't go as long as we normally would. So we try to knock things out within about an hour. So we try not to waste too much time doing this part in the beginning. So let me, in the spirit of that, let me not waste time and say, what's happening, Smitty? How was your week? How's everything been going? Our two teams clash off. They face off in preseason to end it out. Maybe let me know maybe what you're interested in seeing from your guys. Whatever you want to get into before we dive into the actual topics.
Well, I mean, basically, all I want to see is just, because the preseason is only the three games, right? Because
That's it. Yeah.
So hey, look, they won one game, which I can appreciate. This next game, all I'm looking for, honestly, I just want to see more progression from the backups. The secondary units, because the thing is, the battle of attrition is going to be about that depth. It's not going to necessarily be about the start. So I'm not really looking for anything in particular at this point with the team. I just want to see them. Oh, excuse me. I want to see the first unit guys basically play a clean, a clean game. Hopefully they can, finish it out pretty strong. And I just want to see if there's some signs of life out there, man, as far as guys that can possibly make an impact for the team. That's mainly what I'm looking for out of this last game. I'm not really looking for, excuse me, I keep on looking up because I'm so used to having my webcam be up here. I got my camera right down here in front of me, so now I can look right into it. That's but no, like I'm just used I want to just see what these guys are going to bring to the table altogether. So I'm not really looking at this like this is regular season game one. Just like watching Hard Knocks. After seeing I saw some of the game against the Colts, but then after watching the episode of Hard Knocks, it kind of goes in line with it. And it's just like, okay, I like that energy. I like the vibe. I like the tone that's being said. I like how they're pushing that method. And that's the enthusiasm, that's the energy, that's the intensity that I want to see. That's what I want to see happening. Just keep doing that. He's straight talking about like, yo, we got to get this losing all the way out. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's one thing to just say it, but at the same time, you gotta make that happen. It has to happen, guys. I'm saying this as far as the Lions, it's got to happen. You know what I mean? Jamal Williams from the first episode, crying in the huddle and all that stuff and everything. Talking about he think about that record and he's that passionate. Hey,
crying in the huddle. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if that intensity is that real, he's like, I'm about to cry over this. Think about that. He's like, when you feel like not going anymore, think of that effing record. Think of that effing record. And it's like, hey, that's the reality out of it, you know, at the end of the day. So, hey, that's true. Like, if they play with that intensity and energy and really come through with it, and we could see a legit turnaround this year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So it's all about the players stepping to the plate and getting the right guys that are gonna truly step to the plate. That's it. So, but yeah, man, no, I'm excited, man. I'm excited just to see football being played. I'm not really too concerned about, you know, whether the Steelers win, Lions win. I just want to see these dudes play some quality football. That's all I'm really concerned about. So
yeah,
but
me
I'll
neither,
throw it to
man.
you, bro.
I don't care about the win loss. What I care about in this game, and still a nation would know, man. Listen, the Steelers' offensive line is not looking great so far. They're not. You know, you acquire James Daniels. He hasn't shown well in these first two games. Kendrick Green is Kendrick Green. Have mercy. That kid just. That's all I got to say. They're not looking good. You know, that quarterback play has been pretty decent. You know, from Mitch Trubisky to Kenny Pickett, even to Mason Rudolph. But the offensive line can't hold up. You can't run the ball, and your quarterbacks are running for their life every play. You know, and I know it's preseason. I'm not going to overreact, but I mean, it's appropriate to look at what you're seeing so far and have a slight concern. So what I'm looking to see against the Lions, man, me personally, if I'm the coaching staff, I'm playing that first unit, that offensive line, for a very long time. I might play them the entire first half because they need it. And then guys like Kendrick Green might play the whole game. So the worst of the starting unit, they might play significant snaps. Because I want to see them, because I think your coach already came out and said that your guys are going to play a decent amount. So I want to see them against Hutchinson and these dudes. I want to see how they're going to do against the Lions front end and your offensive line. Not a bad offensive line as far as the guys on that unit. So I'm curious to see how the defense looks against them. So it's little stuff like that I'll be looking for, man, because like I said, as a Steeler fan, everybody knows the offensive line right now is the pain point. The next pain point from last season was their run defense. So I don't know if Cam Hayward will be out there. I don't know if, TJ Watt and guys like that probably won't play. So you can't really get a gauge of that. But I'm more so looking at offensive line. If I'm Tomlin and crew, I'm playing them for a long time because they've looked pretty bad these last two games. And then we have a backup inside linebacker who's showing some promise, Mark Robinson. So I'm looking to see how he looks out there because Devin Bush hasn't been playing well either. So that's all I'm looking for. I don't really care who wins or loses. Honestly, I don't need to see more of Kenny Pickett. I know Steelers fans don't want to hear this, Smitty, but I'm in the camp of not rushing. Some people are saying he looks ready. He looks good. But what's the rush? Trubisky's looking okay. So I've been saying this is the best position you can ask for. You have a situation where your veteran is managing the team and looks pretty decent while your future of the franchise is coming along. So why throw him out there against the Bengals, the AFC North champs from last year, the AFC representative in the Super Bowl on the road? You just don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we're at a situation where we have to play him. Most teams who draft top-tier quarterbacks or projected top-tier guys is because they have no other option. And because I use the example, Patrick Mahomes didn't start the first year. They slowly allowed him to, get it, and then he played a few games late in the season, and then he took over. So I don't think you have to rush. I think at the very worst, if Trubisky is not getting it done after about 4 or 5 games, then at least your draft pick, your number 2 QB is ready. You just don't have to rush him. So that's my opinion. So I said all that to say this, and I'll get off of it. I don't really even need to see Kenny play tomorrow. Maybe a little bit, but I think I've seen enough to say yes, he's the number 2. That's solidified in my opinion. And if they want to start him, cool. But he's at least moved past Mason Rudolph, and that's all I needed to know. So there you go. Let me see what else I got. I think that's it. I guess we can move on to the topics. My only question, man, which one you want to go hit first? You want to get Madden out the way and finish up with 2K, or you want to hit 2K first?
We can do the 2K talk first because Madden is what usually takes longer.
Yeah,
for us to do so. Yeah.
All right, man. So I'll kick it off because I'll set the tempo as far as what I wanted to talk about because I brought this to Smitty, and then Smitty can respond. Here's my thing with the NFL 2K game, guys. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to our guys, man, longtime followers of us. And I don't mean that in the sense of literally following us. I'm just saying guys that we've rocked with for a long time. My man 757 and Alabama, as we call him, Stack 360, I think is his name here on Twitter. On YouTube. But they know who they are. They do their own podcast. 757 tweeted me one of their episodes earlier today. Well, he texted me, and I had a chance to listen to a decent amount of it while I was working. And there was a sentiment around why I want to listen to the rest of it, but they were kind of going down the line of why Madden might be what it is now and why it might be going to another level as far as, trying to make the game better and more realistic. They tied in the fact that, the college game is probably going to promote some of that. The fact that 2K is coming is going to promote some of that. So basically the sentiment was Madden has to get their stuff together because if not, he's in 757, as I quote, he said, the nostalgia of NCAA game will have people playing regardless, just like NCAA 14, Madden 25, same gameplay engine, but you hear most people say they prefer NCAA. So the college game will be a direct competition to Madden because it's been gone for so long. And if 2K has a game that's worth something, Madden's going to have to get themselves together. Another quick thing I'll say, and then I'll get to the real point. He also mentioned how, listen, NBA 2K came in and they took out live for the most part. It used to be a time when live was that deal. We all played it. And here comes 2K. They did a better job, and live is not alive. Right? So the point about 2K, though, is 757 for sure, because I didn't hear the whole thing to get Stack's perspective. But he was kind of saying that he feels like the 2K will toe the line as far as what simulation. They will go as far as they can to not break the quote-unquote rule that the NFL will impose. Also, shout outs to SGO. They put out an article a while back, maybe a few weeks ago, saying that, resources have told them that 2K is working. It's going to come out next year, that quote-unquote, they're going to try to get as close as they can to still be under the umbrella of non-simulation. So the overarching point was they're going to get as close as they can. And they were saying stuff like, if you put a flame on the back of somebody's jersey and it does this, that's technically arcade. I'm going to stick to how I feel. None of us know. This is speculation. I'm just trying to use logic. And it's not to say that anybody else is not using logic. But the only thing that doesn't allow me to be optimistic that that's going to happen is what? The NFL. Guys, this is my only point. I could be completely wrong. Let me say this. I hope I'm wrong. I hope. It's be nothing better than to have real competition because we win. 757 actually said on the show, man, wouldn't it be great if it was at a point where you literally asking yourself, man, which one of these games I'm going to play today? Dang, I'm in a franchise with all of them. All right, I guess I'll play this one today. Yep. I wouldn't want nothing better than that. Where I could be like, man, I think I'm gonna rock a little Madden tonight. Tomorrow I'll probably do my little 2K joint. Man, I'm gonna hit college tomorrow. Like, yes, that's what we want. However, I just can't find sense of why the NFL, remember, the NFL is going to be licensing this game. Why? Where do they benefit by allowing 2K to get as close as possible to simulation, but not call it simulation? I'll give you a better example. Let's not even use APF, because we know how that went. That wasn't NFL current players. That wasn't an NFLPA. Think about Backbreaker. Some of y'all don't know Backbreaker, but think about Backbreaker. 11 on 11, full physics with the Euphoria engine, but had some arcadey looking and feeling gameplay. However, the core gameplay, time in the pocket before it was patched, the way the players react, adapting on the fly, using that form system where they literally adapted to what was happening and would react to that during game, the physics. But there were some arcadey looking moments, right? Because they even said it was a blend between arcade and simulation. I do not believe the NFL would allow a Backbreaker-esque game alongside Madden. It doesn't make sense. Y'all understand what I'm saying? To me, why do that? If you're going to do that, then just let 2K make the real game. Why do you have to make this distinction? Do y'all get what I'm saying? Because it's like this. And I'm not saying none of us are right. I want it to be the way that 757 was saying, and other people have said this too. Some of you in the chat are probably saying it. I want it to be like that. But I don't see why the NFL will allow it, because that's what we got to remember. It's not about what 2K gonna do. Mm-hmm. See, I take that statement, Smitty, like this. Me and Smitty about to make us a game, right? The NFL gonna license the SimFootball video game, SimFootball 2K or SimFootball 2023, and Sim and Smitty are the developers, and they said, all right, y'all can make a sim standard football game. It's got to be arcade, though. Me and Smitty sit over here and be like, yo, Smitty, we got to get this as close as we can. Like, sneak in simulation without them. Because we know they're going to say, no, that's too close to what they're doing. Can't do that. That's how I read that. I think some of you guys are getting more too optimistic as far as what 2K can do as far as development, but that ain't the way to look at it. The question is the NFL going to allow them to toe the line? I don't think so. I just don't think so, because, again, let's not forget this one small piece of information. The NFL came to an agreement with 2K saying, yes, you guys can make an arcade game. We will license that. We will even put the players in there. Don't forget, 2K, we got business over here with Electronic Arts. They're still our flagship simulation product. Y'all get what I'm saying? So I don't think if an 11 on 11 football game shows up at their desk and they have, the shoulder pads are on fire for the visuals, I don't think the NFL letting that fly. Because their name is on it too, guys. Don't forget that. Same reason why certain stuff they won't allow EA to do in-game, like crowds leaving and helmets popping off. You know they ain't going to put their name on no funny business unless it's clearly arcade. Mm-hmm. Like KO Superstar. Something like that. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to, to throw that out there and see what you guys think, throw it to Smitty as well. But that's the only reason why you're going to continue to hear me be not as optimistic until we see it. Because I just don't believe the NFL does that. Because if they were willing to allow another company to make a game that resembles an 11 on 11 simulation with their name on it, why wouldn't they just say, hey, EA, we've decided we're going to let more people make this game and you guys can compete. You know, there's no benefit for the NFL to be sneaky, if y'all understand what I'm saying. So,
yeah,
that's where I'm at with that one, man.
Okay. Now, I basically like the way I feel about it is basically like this. Like, I think that if the NFL the way I feel about it is like this. The closest they're gonna get, I firmly believe, without them crossing a line, just from a person who's outside looking in, I firmly believe at best this game is going to be a super mega baseball kind of clone.
That's what
That will be the closest that will, I would say this.
I'll take it.
That would have me thoroughly impressed because that game, like I said before, there are people in the baseball gaming community that play the game and they're like, hey, yo, this super mega baseball though. You know what I mean? Like, it actually has some legitimate simulation elements to it. Don't sleep on this. And excuse me. And it's like, if they're able to have all of that going on in the game, then it's like, yo, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Let's go ahead and play. I mean, not play. I was going to say play. Not play, but like, yo, let's go ahead and, let's rock with this. EA from a legal standpoint may say it's okay because, see, the thing is, EA knows that they're a threat, or the NFL, in terms of what they've enabled for EA, they don't see Super Mega Baseball as a threat. You know what I mean? Like a type of game that kind of looks like that, excuse me, really wouldn't be as much of a posing threat. But the fact that 2K's name is on it, that kind of will curb that expectation a bit. If it's a playable game that gives me legit football, even though it's not officially licensed, well, I mean, it's officially licensed, but it's not officially mimicking, authentic football to replicate the NFL to the fullest extent, and they can technically dub it as arcade, then go that route. You know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't surprise me to see that, but that's also the maximum allowance I'm giving it too. It has to be that or better.
Yep.
If it's not Super Mega Baseball, excuse me, it needs to be something better than Super Mega Baseball. If that's not the case, then it's going to come up a wash in the end. Real talk. So we'll see what they do, but I'm just saying that's what I'm expecting out of them.
Yeah, man. And again, guys, I want to try to make sure I'm clear because some people, it just is what it is. Everybody is never going to agree. Everybody is not always going to understand the point. But I want to try to drive the point as clearly as possible so you guys know what I'm saying. Like, because some of you guys are saying here in the chat, no, it's not about them tiptoeing. It's about, the 2K having the potential to. The NFL is well aware of what 2K can do. Do we all not remember that 2K, NFL 2K through NFL 2K5? They are well aware. They're well aware of what 2K can do. This ain't no trial period. Now, some people might not know that. I'm not saying I'm spending you guys in here, but some people might not know that. The NFL is well aware. The NFL, I'm sure, is aware, their gaming sector is aware of how NBA 2K is. And like I said, all they got to do is look back at history when they did business with 2K. They know what 2K5 versus Madden 05 versus all of them other games, NFL, FIFA, they know. So to me, it's not a trial run. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not trying to convince people how to think. I'm not trying to change your opinion. I'm just saying some of the theories that I think some of us come up with, it logically it doesn't add up to me. I'm just keeping it a buck. None of that adds up to me. It being a potential don't add up. The NFL allowing them to tiptoe the line doesn't add up. Because ultimately the NFL is going to determine what they consider the arcade game. Have you guys thought about that? Think about this narrative. Have you guys thought about the NFL telling them exactly what they want? Could that possibly be a reason why it was delayed last year? Where 2K has to figure out how to produce what the NFL wants. Let's not forget that. And I think some people are not considering that. Have we not considered that the NFL has told 2K what they want in the game, how they want the game to be presented? You cannot lose that. It's not about, like I saw some other people said in here, and Keith Turner, he said, let's be honest, 2K will make a better game than it's not about any of that. We can't look at it like that. We have to look at this and say, what is the NFL going to allow them to present? That's it. I have no doubt that 2K would make a banger game. Again, go back to 2K5. I know some people will say, well, they didn't do that great with APF in terms of the overall. They didn't. Let me say that real quick too, which a lot of people won't say. 2K, to me, dropped the ball with All Pro Football. Great gameplay. But please explain to me why that thing wasn't like chocked full of features, packed full of, dog, why didn't y'all build some type of franchise off of the 2K5 or build a presentation package? Couldn't be NFL, but you understand what I'm saying? It was 3 years in between those games. You could have made a full-blown franchise experience. You still have the superstars and the old players, but there were a ton of generic players in that game. So just keep building generic players. If they would have done, imagine that. Imagine today if APF had a deep franchise experience. It's quite possible that they could have kept that game running and servers still open for many moons, because some people would have still been rocking it. Imagine that when you had people out there, like, I don't even remember all of the names, but people like Neff and others creating these rosters and making the NFL jerseys and all that for that game. Imagine if you actually had that deep franchise experience. People might still be playing it.
Yep.
But they dropped the ball. Race
TV
sports,
highlights,
all of them. Yeah, man.
All them different cats. Yeah. Oh, there would have been a lot of work done.
They dropped the ball.
A whole lot of work. Yep.
But so that's why I always say I go back and look at 2K5, and that shows you what an NFL full-blown licensed football product from 2K Sports could be. And then you use your own speculation and say, man, look at how far they've come with NBA 2K. You can only imagine that their football game would be on that level as well, with presentation and everything. I mean, think of all the penalties and stuff it had back to the game would be great. So, Keith Turner, this is definitely not a conversation about who would have been better. I'm not thinking any of that, because none of that matters with this arcade game. Remember, the NFL, EA, and 2K made sure we all knew that it was an arcade license when they announced it. They're putting this distinction on it. That's why, again, and I don't have to keep going because everybody's opinion is going to be different. But that's why I say I do not have high hopes for this 2K game to resemble anything that all of us would want it to be. Because I just don't see why the NFL would toe their own line. That don't make sense. If they wanted to give another company the free reign to make a game to directly compete with Madden, that's what they would have done. They would not have re-signed the license with EA. EA can't force them to do that. Now, EA probably put up the bag, but at the end of the day, still, even if the bag was super huge, it's still up to the NFL to decide if they want to allow other companies to get a piece of the pie. So you know what it really sounds like to me, and I don't want to rain on nobody's parade. It sounds like 2K was like, all right, you know what? They gave us the bag over here. Let's find another way to get another bag. You know, let's give them the arcade division. Just saying, man. I don't have high hopes for what the product is going to be. Has nothing to do with my confidence in what 2K can build. So I hope you guys understand my distinction there. That's just me. So others are sharing their opinion. That's just my opinion. And maybe I'll be able to walk it back. But we talk about the NFL, man. I don't see it. I don't see them cutting off their own nose to spite their face, man. I just don't. So we'll see. Somebody says, when does it expire? I want to say, what is it, 2026, Smitty? Somewhere like that with EA?
Yeah.
So, oh, man. And this is a side comment, and don't even get me started. Maybe we'll talk about this when we get to we about to go to Madden. I didn't even see this, but I saw DJ tweet that out.
Yeah, where'd you see that at?
DJ, this better not be true.
Because it's saying they're making their My League debut with their franchise mode.
This better not be true, dog. It better not resemble nothing like that. Because if it is, I'm about to lose my. Y'all know how I feel about Tiburon. Y'all know how I feel about Tiburon versus Vancouver. Let's pull this article.
I did not see this at all. So this will be completely fresh off the cuff because I had no idea about this at all.
You know what, Smitty? It's actually going to kind of roll into what I have to say about the other topic, by the way, guys, is to me the big three biggest areas where they have to address in Madden 24. And again, this is not an indictment on what I feel about Madden 23. It's just you have to go after these areas in the next game. So this is actually going to go right along with it. Let me pull up the article, guys. I'm going to share it here. And let's see exactly what our good brother DJ is referring to. Where's my... Here we go. We got a donation as well, man. So let me hit the round of applause. It takes me longer to do it on stream. Round of applause, man. And we thank you, Strictly Gaming. He says, Smitty, what up? Sim, what's good? First time hearing about this, but sports games for me have been lackluster for a minute. Laugh out loud. Dope show, fellas.
Oh,
yeah, honestly, man. Honestly, you well, I'll say you're right. And I mean, it's no right or wrong, but I will agree with you in terms of Madden. I would be curious to know how you feel about the other games, though, guys, because I hear a lot of people say that. And I saw Smitty tweet something earlier where Smitty was referring to somebody was commenting about NHL, and they were kind of showing disdain for it or disgust with, I guess not getting the feature or, the game not evolving to where their liking was. And Smitty made the overarching point. See, guys, it ain't just Madden. It's everybody in these communities, which is true. There's people that are really upset with NHL. You see it every year with 2K. You definitely see it with MLB. So I'm always curious because I don't lock in on those games like others. I'm always curious to know you guys' thoughts because, that's a broad statement you made there, Strictly Gaming, when you said sports games have been lackluster. So I'm just curious to know in what area some of the other games outside of Madden has dropped the ball. Let's see, Smitty, did you find it in this article?
I'm reading it now. I just had to type in. I had to use the Control F and find out where the franchise.
All right, let me
where they mentioned franchise. It's under the picture where it says custom franchise mode settings. At least that's what I'm looking at here.
Oh, here.
And yeah,
All right.
this is some my league kind of stuff that they're doing here. This
Oh,
is some
man.
depth that they
Y'all
have.
make me do this every time, man. Here I go again. I got to read out loud for y'all.
Yeah.
Let me see what we got. What's the best section to read here, Smitty, that might outline
I don't
it?
know, because I'm reading it right now. Like, I just been reading it while you were talking.
All right, I'll just go through it. Starting from the top here, guys, it looks like it says the biggest offline change this year would be the addition of custom league settings for your franchise mode. You will be able to set your league up with 6 to 48 teams. Wow, 48 teams. And then you can designate who is in each conference, division, control salary cap, minimum and maximum, and have a dynamic schedule where you choose the length of the season and the opponent layout. In terms of how the regular season plays out, you can also control how the standings are designed, set points assignments, how the playoff structure will work, league, conference, division, the number of teams that can qualify for the playoffs, 2 or 32, a 32 league playoff. Whoa. And also have tiebreakers for standings like wins, a plus minus, or goals. With the playoffs, there would be a wild card and an option for a wild card round, playoff reseeding, a way to restructure the home away games. And you can pick how many games should be in a series, or even have an aggregate option decide how teams advance. Says the normal franchise, normal in quotations. The normal franchise mode and expansion draft option still exists as well, but this seems like NHL's way to give people the option to relive eras or just create their own world. Relive eras. That kind of sound like my era, right? Some 2K stuff. In addition, you can use custom rosters, so the roster share will be nice to have here. That said, you can't import rosters from last year's game, so NHL is making the same mistake some other sports games make, says like NBA 2K, by forcing people to start from scratch with their created rosters with each new version of the game. I got a question about that real quick. The last thing says, overall, I'm hopeful that the community comes up with some great custom rosters because I would be happy to play through franchise from a different era. Let me ask you, as far as that, Smitty, Madden doesn't allow you to do that, does it? It doesn't allow you to import a roster from the previous year to this year's game, does it?
No, you got to create it in the current game.
What game allows that? Is it just MLB?
No, I don't remember MLB the show being able to do that. I don't think they have the port your saves over this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I see what he's saying. Yeah, but as I reread that, I think what he's basically saying is that's just a mistake that all of these sports games make by not allowing you to do that.
Right.
But he singled out NBA 2K. That's why I was like,
because NBA 2K is the more popular game with doing that roster sharing and everything like that. Like, people create fictional leagues off of that, create that file share. Like, there's people on OS that create a purpose fictional roster with a fictional draft class, and like, these guys have depth. They created who's the stars, who's the superstars, average players, all that good stuff, intentionally. And so yeah, it's I see what they're saying, but see, what really gets me about this though, Sim, excuse me, is look at how much this is like when we did the videos and we had the discussions before about their sliders in NHL.
Oh my God.
And how much depth they had and how much could be controlled and how intricate you could get with it, right? This is like the same thing, but they're doing it with the franchise. Like, let's say if you want to play the NHL from a different era, like, you literally can. The way this looks, you can set up the games, the rules, the playoff structure. Or if you want to do something real, freaky, futuristic, something kind of wild. I mean, 48 teams, dude.
That's what I'm saying. 32 team playoff. What the?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I mean, because the NHL originally started, what was it, the original six? I think that's why they call the team the original six, because it started out that way. So it's like, you can do this two-team playoff. You could literally just say it. We're battling it out. Just think about that. 48-team playoff, and only 2 or 3 teams or 4 teams can make it into the playoffs. And you're using, what are you going to use for the standings? That's going to determine that. Yeah. Is it going to be your plus or minus? Is it going to be amount of the goals you scored? Is it going to be, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, you can really get interesting with it. And this is outside of gameplay sliders. So this is what I'm saying. Like,
those sliders are the best in class.
Oh my gosh, dude. Hands down the best. But yeah, see, this is some my league kind of stuff. Thank you, DJ, because you did tweet that, and I was wondering, like, where is he seeing this at? Because I ain't seen nothing on EA's site about this. Like, what is it? And now I see what he's talking about. Yeah, and that EA Vancouver. This is EA Vancouver though, but still, this is EA.
This starting to piss me off all over again. Because and I promise, guys, I could go ahead and take this off the screen now. We're gonna roll right into the top 3 areas that I think, not that I want to see, but that they must do next game for Madden. But this goes back to what I said a long time ago, man. Y'all remember back in the day? I'm willing to bet that Smitty, DJ, maybe a few others in the chat. Y'all remember when, and I'm going to assume y'all did. If y'all didn't, you can just say, no, that wasn't me. But I'm going to just assume y'all all did it the same way I did. You remember when you tried every EA Sports game because it was EA Sports? It was under the same umbrella. I can remember as a young kid when he had the little yellow thing on the cartridge.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, that's EA. Yep. It's going to be a good game. Oh, because I know what their games are about. EA Sports. It's in the game, right? Yep. And my idea even back then was like, they seem to build all of these games alike. And me and Smitty have said in recent years, why is it that EA Sports, that umbrella, why don't all of these games grow together? This is what I mean. When you created these, every one of these games should have the same stuff. Identical. Franchise mode should have the same capabilities. The only thing that's different, this one is for American football. This one is for soccer. All right, cater this one to hockey. Okay, cater that one to baseball when they had baseball. But the features, the gameplay, the way the players interact, the collisions, the animations, the AI, all of that stuff should be the same because it's like a conveyor belt. Like we're in a factory. All right, this is the chassis, and then you branch off. Like that's how I would build my sports company. Not saying it's easy, but I'll get to my point. It pisses me off because we shouldn't still be waiting in theory. Not saying how it is, because we know it, they didn't do that. So it's going to take a long time to share. But in theory, we shouldn't have to wait for FIFA to get these deep sliders, Madden to get these deep sliders. Right. Or we shouldn't have to wait for now Madden to get coaching carousel. Or we shouldn't have to wait now and look how NHL got the scouting before Madden did. Like, that shouldn't exist. The only thing that should exist is brand new features that are football-based, hockey-based, soccer-based. It shouldn't be that there's a clear fundamental aspect of a game like salaries and stuff like that, and the other games don't do it, because to me, EA Sports should be the umbrella. I should have this ginormous engineering, or I'm not going to act like I know the titles, but let's just use basic titles so everybody understands. I should have one ginormous engineering team that just works on our system. They work on the Sim Standard Sports system. This is the core system. Mm-hmm. They do that. Then I got people who, all right, this piece We can put this over here. All right, Smitty, you and Azure go over there, and y'all can do that. All right, take me. I'm gonna grab DJ, grab NY Key and all that. We gonna go over to this game and do. But the resources that we're pulling from to make this happen is from the same bucket.
Right.
And I just don't understand from, and here's the funny part, Smitty, what we've been hearing since Ignite.
Yep.
Oh, now we'll be able to share. So they know how to do it, or at least they have the vision.
Well,
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Yeah.
That pisses me off to no end.
That's what Frostbite was supposed to. Supposedly, it's even easier with the Frostbite in order for them to be able to do it. That's what it's supposed to be.
Oh, man.
See what I'm saying? But yet, it still hasn't happened. And it's like, all these years.
Brett would know. He worked there.
Yeah. I forgot, dude, Sim, I completely forgot to tell you that Brett did ask like a few days ago. He had DM'd me and asked if he could get on the show.
Oh, Lord.
With us. I completely forgot to even tell you. I meant to tell you.
Let me see if I still got Brett's email.
Yeah, if you're available, Brett, to jump on, like see if we could get you on here real quick. But
or if you want to, Brett, if we can lock in, if you want to, if you want to lock in that we will come on the next show, we just start from the beginning, only because the shows are a little shorter for me now because my Thursday night is rougher. I don't want to take time away from you, but matter of fact, and remind me, let's do that. Let's say that right now. The very next show, we're gonna have you come on and we're gonna talk game development. You tell us why that is, and you also answer my question. Am I off base by thinking that a company should be able to, like, to me, you build it like that, man. That's how I would build it. This is my sports division, and my sports games are gonna run on this engine. And they all, all I gotta do is distribute it to each different sector, and then they build their components, but we all running off the same engine. That's how it seems logical to me. But again, I'm not a dev, I'm not an engineer. I don't know if it's possible, but let's do that though, Brett. Don't let us forget that.
Yeah. My bad, fam. Completely forgot. But
oh man, Smitty.
So let's do it next week.
Yeah, let's lock in. I will say this: it's a small chance. It's a small chance I may not be able to make show next. Small. My wife's birthday is on Wednesday. We took off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I don't know what's going on. If we're probably not doing nothing on Thursday, so I'll probably be here. But I'm just putting that out there just in case. So if that is the case, we'll just say the very next show.
Right. Yeah.
Very next show that we do. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick. 3 biggest things that I need them to work on. Not even that I want. Must. I'll go out on the limb and I'll say, as of today, I still think the gameplay has improved. Enjoying the gameplay for what it is. I know, and it's funny, man. Play the game for yourself and like it or hate it. If you look on Twitter, you wouldn't know what to think about Madden. Some people say it's complete trash. Some of the tourney guys are saying things are busted. Could be. Then you have other people on the other side is like, this is the best Madden they've played in decades. I don't know. I still feel the same way I felt last week. Maybe my opinion will change a little bit once our league starts and I start really diving in with. I can't always judge the lobby, but when I start diving in with people who are playing like-minded and we can really see what's wrong, I might change my opinion. But right now, I think the game is at a place. Okay, foundationally, we can build from this. So with that being said, next year you have to work on. I'll give y'all an easy one. Presentation.
Oh, no question.
You have to. All across the board. Everything. Put the refs back on the field. I'm going to even give y'all a bone and say that. All of that.
Mm-hmm.
A presentation package that's not the same the same overlay package with a few new animations. No.
Yeah.
Give us another look, a fresh look, not just a fresh coat of paint, an actual remodeling. If you want to keep the same commentators, I'm fine with that. But with the commentators, and this is a part of presentation, give them some life. I don't have a problem with Brandon Garden and Charles Davis at all. If you actually listen to it, the commentary is okay, but it's dry. There's no, I need the game to react to what's happening and have inflection in their voice and, oh, it's picked off, or, oh no, he throws it over. Like, give me some of that. It can be done. It can be done. 2K does it to some degree.
NHL. They got rid of. Let me just throw this in and just interject real quick. They got rid of the NBC presentation package, which was great. It was on point. The music was suspenseful and all that, and I mean everything went in line. Like all of it was. It was like the NBA on NBC kind of thing. It gave that kind of vibe. Playing the game, and it was like you saw the replays. You could, look, and that's the other thing too. You could look at every single play, every single shot that was took, all of it.
Don't get me started on them broken replays now.
You could see the replays,
man,
and the shots on goal, the actual goals, and they gave commentary to all of it. Oh, it's a tight contested game here. We'll see what happens going into intermission, and the score is da. And it's like, and you got the music suspensefulness behind it, just like the NFL on CBS and stuff like that. That music is playing, and they're talking over it.
I'm all hyped. As soon as I hear that, I'm looking for the black and gold. Come on, man.
It's like that you're hearing the hypeness behind it. But the crazy part is, you took that out, put your own stuff in there, and it's better. Your overlays, better. The commentary, better. All of it's better. So it's like, how did you upgrade from NBC to your own thing and your graphical overlays, all of that stuff? Crowd reaction, DJ. Come on, it's not even close. Well, I would say next to FIFA. That and FIFA, you can make an argument. Madden is way in the back.
See what I'm saying?
And that's
how is that stuff not in each game? That should be standard.
Yeah, that's
standard overlay package crowd, and you just tweak it for each sport. Come on.
But see, you know what's crazy though, Sim, is that FIFA has, if you play the different leagues and stuff, FIFA has different presentation packages for the different leagues and the different games and all that stuff. Different play, I don't know what they call them, but the player cards, when they spotlight a player, some of them they just got the still shot photograph and they talk about them. The other one, they actually had the guy look up as they show the stats overlay on the side, and he's up here looking up there like
Sunday night football.
At it. Yeah, exactly. Just
Come
like
on,
that.
man.
It's in the game. Y'all got it in the game. That's the thing that gets me. When I play Madden 23, look at the freaking menu when you first load up. You got a quarterback standing there. You got a DN standing. That's a presentation overlay. Take that and put that in there. Oh, you got to look out for Aaron Donald because it could be Garden and Charles Davis.
Right there.
You could zest it up and just do that. Or get new people in with them. And that zests it up too. See, that's what I'm saying. You gotta get people into it. And that's the kind of stuff you got to do, man. I don't know. Do they need to go to Vancouver? I mean, do they really need to just take them to Vancouver?
You know what I've been saying for years.
That's what I'm saying.
This ain't a shot at. This is not a shot at the people that we know in the building.
Yeah,
the devs who want this stuff. I'm talking about the senior management. There's something different about the investors or whatever that deal with Tiburon than Vancouver. It's been proven.
Yeah.
It's been proven. But y'all see my point? It should all be EA Sports. Do like what Smitty said. Forget the NBCs and the Fox. We should know the games from EA Sports presentation. It should have that Madden presentation is crazy. I love how they do that. You can create your own thing. And you know what you might end up doing? Pissing the NFL off. And now they say, no, put our stuff in there. Right. Boom. Exactly. Yeah, okay, we'll put it in there, but cut the price a little bit. Then they better see Smitty, they better be glad we ain't in charge, dog. Create your own, man. That's what I would do. Y'all would know my game. Y'all would know, I keep saying Sim Standard. Y'all would know the Sim Standard sports package. Because we would create this beautiful thing. We don't have to steal from Fox. We'll be inspired, but so if you're not gonna pay for it, build it.
He said, "My man, Live King," because I think he lives in Canada. Yeah, he said Vancouver is a tech hub. Definitely more talent there than in Orlando.
Yep, like my man said, you're right, Live King. My man right here says it should be EA Sports Network. That's dog. Come on, man.
Simple.
It's a layup. All pro football.
That's what it was. Remember, Sim. That's what it was in the 90s. Remember, it would have it on the box, EASN on the box. Like that was like the sports games had that on there. So you knew outside of the other games, that was the sports games. Like they had that. It said it in the 90s and stuff. In the 90s, Genesis,
it does
Super
matter.
Nintendo.
It matters.
They had it.
Y'all hear me scream about gameplay all the time, but me and Smitty are just as passionate with that's all simulation. That does matter. Yeah. How much better would Madden feel if it had all of that? That's just the presentation.
Dude, remember when they had Fox, when they got Fox Sports on the joint in Madden 95, playing the NFL, the theme music.
Even the little logo in the corner.
Yeah, the logo in the corner. Like, come on, man. Like,
remember they used to have the crack sound when he got hurt. Yeah. Bing, boom, like Matt. Come on, man.
Yeah, dude. Come on. See, that's what we talking about when we say that immersive factor. That's what made EA hot because nobody was doing that. They were the first one. They were the only ones that were like really spearheading that movement. And it's like now, look, I give 2K all the credit in the world for what they do. They don't have NBA on TNT, but at the same time, their presentation package is a legit package. Now their halftime show is shot to crap. They got to fix that like big time. But I can definitely say like their in-game presentation, their overlays, all of that stuff. Absolutely beautiful. Love what they done. The multiple commentary teams. Like, don't get me wrong. We're not saying in one shot y'all should have it. But what I'm saying is they have to build something solidified. It's just not good enough to just say, hey, we got more commentary lines that go in line with this. And guess who did it? Brandon Gardner and Charles Davis. Okay, guys, enjoy it. No, it's like, no. You need to give us a full package, full presentation. Give us the suite. Make me feel. If I watch the game, if I watch the games on Sunday and them games kick off, NFL, well, who is it? NFL NBC. Like, I want that kind of pop. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta say this real quick.
Yeah, go
ahead, my wife watches TikTok all the time. And it might have been on Twitter. Did y'all see that one with it's the guy and his girl? And they're dancing to each, they're saying how those songs, how you would do the choreography to them.
Okay.
Oh, it's crazy, man. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I'm gonna post it. It's perfect. They do all of the they do the NBC one, the Fox one, the NFL Network, and the way the choreography like matches the sound of the music. And shout outs to the dude in the video. He had to steal his shirt on, but that adds to what Smitty is saying. It's like you know what's happening when you hear them songs. You ready. Or when it's playoff time, or it's come on, man. And here's the funny thing, Smitty. One feature that I thought that was cool presentation-wise, they took it out. Remember Rewind?
Oh, yeah.
When they would go back and tell you what happened, that actually was a cool. We need more of that. Let me show you why this guy, why he gave maybe after a touchdown. Why
not
did
as
he
a
give up his
mulligan
touchdown?
thing, not as a mulligan thing you control, but as in the
presentation.
game.
Exactly.
Let's show you what Reedy should have read and what he should have
happened
did and what happened. Yes.
Come on, man.
And see, that's what I'm saying. That was a one and done. And they got it out of there. But yeah, that's exactly it. Exactly it. Come on, man. That's what you got to do.
Let me tell y'all something. Let me give y'all some advice real quick. Y'all got to find you a real partner, because I don't want to offend nobody. So in my case, real woman. A wife heard me saying that just now, and she just sent it to me. See that? That's the one. Young boys out there, when y'all be asking me, that's the stuff you look for when you're trying to decide who's gonna be. Those type of things. Those are the intangibles that, a lot of them don't even think about stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, so let me see if I can figure out how to. I'm gonna send it to myself via email, and then I'm gonna grab the link and post it in the chat. It is hilarious. Actually, I'm gonna send it to you, Smitty.
All right.
So you can see it. And they killed it, but it perfectly goes along with what Smitty is saying. It's like the music itself. Oh man, they got to, man. So that's one thing. Obviously, y'all know about that presentation, and like I said, that needs to include everything. Commentary, being more into it, making me feel the moment. Let me know this is the playoffs. Let me know, this might have end. Well, that might be the last chance. In preseason, give me the little. He's not gonna make the team. I mean, I need to feel the commentary to match the moment. The highs, the lows. Talk more about the player. Talk about how the game has gone. And the stat overlays have to match that. The crowd energy has to match that. Yes, referees should be on the field. We should see the chain game. Stuff like that for presentation, right? Here's the other thing that they need to work on. This might be one of the biggest for me, since this is really a gameplay thing. The trenches. The trenches need an overhaul. Has it gotten better in terms of it looks like there's more animation happening? Yeah. It's not dynamic. Let me explain what I'm saying. I understand it's a video game. I know it's going to be hard to replicate what really happens in the trenches. But what they need, number one, is oodles and bunches of animation. It needs to be a plethora of animations. And what needs to drive those is physics, weight, momentum, leverage, all of that. Throw that in the trenches and let them have at it. Proper angles. Get rid of the two-mans. Is it a little better in 23? I believe it is from what I've seen, but I still got a lot of analysis to do. But I still see that it's not as bad as it was so far, but I still see that they go get the edge and then they slightly turn back in to get into that blocking animation. That type of stuff. Let the pass rushers have actual technique. I see what y'all did this year. You got them doing the one arm, the long arm pass rush. But how about give me the technique where he's trying to beat the edge and he doesn't get pulled back in the block. He gets the edge. And how about if this left tackle's kick step ain't the best or his awareness ain't the best, he's going to go right past him. That type of stuff. I showed a play in one of the videos I put up this week where he got my pass rusher to the ground, but then he left him. He just turned his back, and then my guy got up off the ground and made the sack. And this is what I'm saying. Like, keep them glued. Like, get the awareness correct, the AI correct. And when guys get beat, let them get beat, like legit get beat because of overpowered or wrong technique or something like that. Free it up. Like I said, it's not that it's horrendous. It's still a video game. I get it. But I need y'all to go into the trenches now and do what y'all have now done for the last 2 years and kind of getting away from them two-mans. The next stop has to be in the trenches. Football starts and ends in the trenches. It's the same reason why Steelers fans, I know some of y'all in here tonight. What up? What up? What up? Truth chaser in the building. I know y'all in here. I know some of my Steelers are in here. What we worried about this season already? The trenches. What did I say at the beginning of this show? I want to see how the young boy Hutchinson, how he probably going to go crazy on this offensive line early in this game Sunday. It starts and ends in the trenches. I don't care who's back there. As your quarterback, your running back, I don't care if you got 4 Darrelle Revises in his prime in your secondary. Don't matter. If them trenches, you know what I'm saying? And that's where it starts and ends. Like, so we can have some real battles in franchise where I can't go fooling around and just drafting random dudes and let's say I'm facing Smitty and he got dogs on his defensive line. I can't avoid that. I might need to go in free agency and get me a left tackle because he got this boy over here. You see what I'm saying? You don't really, I mean, you feel it a little bit. I will admit, you can feel when your line ain't great in Madden now, but it's still just too static. It's too static, man. It's gotta be more. Again, I'll say the key pillars. You gotta get rid of 2-man animations in the trenches. You gotta make physics and weight and momentum and leverage. All of that stuff has to matter because y'all are starting to do it now out there, with the catches. That needs to be in the entire game. That's the second thing. The third thing, let me see. Did I forget it? What was my other thing, Smitty? I said presentation. Oh, number 3, franchise depth. Listen, I get it. You gave us scouting last year. This year, you're doing something with free agency. Great. All stuff that we need, but it's just not enough at one time. We can't do that no more, man, because, listen, I understand you can't do everything in one swell swoop. We all know that. However, you need to do as much as you can in one cycle because these other games is not only have they far past you, they about to lap you. I don't care, and again, Apex, I'm always going to call him Apex. Yes. And he knows this. He heard me say this a million times. He is the reason why I started a channel way back when I did, because I saw this guy on YouTube doing what I was thinking in my mind. Like, man, I got problems with the game too. I didn't know people was doing this. And I saw this guy, he would take his finger, he's pointing. I said, yo, that's all right. I'm going to start making videos. His name was Apex. I'm always calling him that. Apex. Gideon Prime. Oh, wait a minute. Was he Gideon Prime first?
Yeah, he was Gideon Prime. He said both. He's like Gideon Prime, so, Truth Chasers, Apex is free. Like, yeah.
And I will always remember. I forget which NCAA it was, and he was like, he's doing the potty. He didn't remember to do is sit down and jump back up. He's like, what is this? But anyway, that's my guy right there, man. The OG. But I say that to say he goes in on 2K. Some of the stuff that you've heard us say over the years about ball tangibility and stuff like that. So I know he knows what I'm saying when I talk about the 2-man anims and stuff. All of that stuff, they got to go away from that in Madden, man. Like, they have to. But anyway, with Gideon, with Apex saying, how much he gets on 2K. 2K is still a game that you can play and enjoy because of the depth. Come on, man. You take the good with the bad because of the franchise mode and any other mode you want to play in. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is, man. Like, EA, come on, man. Like, honestly, 757 made a great point. Keep playing around, and Madden going to slowly start losing its way because next year it's up against little brother. Everybody's waiting for the college game. What you think they're going to do if they got to decide between the two? They're going with the one that's returning. What if somehow that one plays better? And what if your competitive Madden players start rocking out over there with the college game. It's all possible.
Could, because you could get that, because now making money off of the college, I mean, listen, it ain't hurting anybody to make money off of the collegiate product at this point now, you know, with the NIL deals and all that kind of stuff that goes on now. So they could legit be like, hey, yo, we're going to do a league thing over here, you know, or a tournament thing over here.
Right.
For whatever X amount of dollars. And if dudes jump on board, they'll jump right on and rock out on that.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I mean, yeah, the game. That's what I say. Like, you get the game has to step it up, man. It has to.
Man.
And understand. And we know what we said beforehand. We said this game feels like oh boy, here comes somebody up here botting. Yeah, but
y'all found out my secret. Yo, what's up with these people? Are they bots or is it? Hey, it's got to be a bot. Like this, man. You should see how many of these I get on the Steelers podcast. It's like,
oh really? Oh wow.
I'm blocking them every week. Every week.
But no, if EA is able to, I mean, we said this game was a foundation. The way they built it is looking like a foundational game. The way it plays is more of a foundational thing. They gotta build this sucker up and out. Like Matt, that's what we said. In 2 years' time, they could seriously have something, but they gotta build that. They gotta build that sucker up. It's gotta be built up and it's gotta be outright. Period. Like, it has to be like, yo, we took big leaps, and it's not a matter of them saying it, it's what the game is showing, and period. It's got to be like that. That's the only way it's gonna work. Otherwise, they in trouble. Shoot, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying they're in trouble based off of these other games. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's it. But yeah, man, I just want to say this bit real quick though about Apex. You got it. Huge shout out to him. He got a lot of people into this doing content creation. It's snowball affected, primarily from him. So a lot of people, you know, your uncles, grandpas, fathers, they all some way, somehow snowball affected from him doing the stuff that he's been doing. You know what I'm saying? Because he was doing a lot of the critiquing as like the real solo guy out here. And the other thing too, like Keith said, he said, we've been saying foundational for over 10 years. Oh no, we ain't. Well, the thing you got to understand is, guys, is that we have to go off. All we have to go off of is what these guys are able to do year by year. You know what I'm saying? And it's like if you pay attention to what even if you pay attention to us, or if you just pay attention to the scope of the land, when a game comes out and it comes out one way, and then it gets title updated to death, or it gets nerfed, or something gets tampered with the next year, it takes a step back. So now it's not that financial. It's not that foundation anymore. So we can't say it's a foundation. It's like, okay, so what are these guys doing now? Oh, they did this. Oh, they did that. Oh, they did this. Yeah. And it's going all over the place instead of one direction up. That's why you've heard us give credit to NHL, to FIFA, to PES, to NBA 2K, to MLB The Show, because they have an established consistency that you could go back to even PS2 days and look at their game and say, oh, I can see the clear resemblance between what they did back then and what they're doing today, or what they did back then and look where the game is at now. I can't honestly say that about Madden. I can't say, look at franchise mode back on PS2 days in Madden 05, and I can see how far it's came along and progressed in Madden 23. I can't say that. I can sit up here and say how there's better stuff in Madden 05 than there is in Madden 23. See, and that's where that changes. And that's from somebody, we're people who are outside looking in. We may get a peek behind the curtain because we went to the studio and stuff like that. But ultimately, we're not the decision makers. We're not the ones that sit at the table and say, hey, this is what the game's going to be, and it's got to stay that way because we're going to tell people this. No, it's like we can only tell you based off of what we know and what we experienced. And that's all we got to go by. So if it changes for the better, cool. If it changes for the worse, we tell y'all why. Or even if the devs say it, like that's why we loved Rex, because he was very forthcoming with telling it, like the way it is. So, but
yeah. And honestly, who's that an indictment against? EA.
Yeah.
And Madden. Like it is funny because when people say that, not saying you're saying it for this reason, but when people say that, it's almost like it's a slight, like, oh, yeah, we've been saying that for years and not, yeah, but exactly. That's the point. We shouldn't be still saying that.
Yeah.
That ain't no indictment on us or anybody else in the community. That is the point. So the real point of that comment is, when is that going to stop? And again, some people have not played Madden in many years. Commend them for that, for not buying the product. But for people who still play the game, for people who still want a game to play, why not give the feedback? That's it. I've been telling y'all for the longest time, don't put all your eggs in the Madden basket. There's plenty of games to play out here. Give your critiques, give your feedback, and move on. If it ain't for you, move on to the next. It's so many video games out there for you to love and enjoy. But I wanted to read this comment too, man, before we wrap up.
All right.
My man Beast Mode here says, I love the gameplay of Madden 23. This has been the best Madden to me in years. Build on what they're doing with gameplay and move towards presentation. I couldn't agree more. I still feel like this is so far. Let me qualify this by saying this. I've played a little bit of online head-to-head. Not a lot, because I just generally don't like what I run into when I'm out there. Even like the people that I have had a couple games where I've won, like even in the beta, big time, because people are just playing stupid. They on their own 15-yard line. It's 4th and 25, and they go like, that's not fun to me. Because then I get the ball right back and I score, or they quit. So that's why I never judge the game off of that, whether I win or lose. Where I can judge my user games is when I'm in the league, which will be starting. We always start our league after the first official roster update. That's when I can really judge how this game is head-to-head. You can judge it a little in the lobby, but not the way you really need to. So I spent a lot of time early, like now, playing the CPU, playing on all Madden. Give me the best you got CPU with the cheats and everything so I can see what's really good with the game. And from what I'm experiencing, is it without its flaws? No. But this is, in my opinion, probably one of the best Madden gameplays that I've seen. From the passing mechanics, from the improved zone defense, from the pass rush timing, them making the game more physical with the hit everything and all of that, and being able to really have 50-50 balls for the most part. The two-man animations are gone for the most part. It is. But it is not without critiques. But I feel like, okay, this is your gameplay foundation. If this is where you finally gotten to, all right, build on top of that. And now let's go attack these other areas that's been lackluster. Let's go towards presentation. Let's go towards franchise depth. Because it's time. It's time. Like you can't, I mean, you can work on gameplay areas every year, of course. But now that you've gotten it to a point where a large amount of people are saying, yo, this Madden gameplay ain't bad. It's pretty good. Now give us some of the bells and whistles. You must. I don't want to hear it, man. I just can't. We can't have no more of this. We just can't. And as you guys will see with some of the videos I've posted, and y'all are going to see some real feedback ones here soon. That passing mechanic, dog. And not even just that. I forgot whose video, somebody's video I was watching, and he was like, yo, what's crazy is I just used the freeform and I let the CPU catch. You seeing some real animations play out that you've never seen before based on that ball placement. They have seemed to have gotten that right. Because I've seen stuff where, I got a post, and I throw that thing back behind him before the safety can get there, and he turned dog. I've made some killer throws with that free-form passing. So it's the potential is there, man. They just have to, gameplay-wise, they just got to keep building, of course, on top of what they got. Trenches. Got to redo them trenches. But now we got to push forward, man, because I am literally sick and tired of having to talk this way about football. The sports game that I would play and want to play more than any other. That ain't no disrespect to basketball, baseball, hockey, football. I need a real football experience from presentation, immersion, down to gameplay. And that's why I keep giving the feedback, because it's going to be a while before we get that from any other company. I'm sorry to say that. And we'll see what 2K is allowed to do with their game. So that's all I got, man. Oh man, Beast Mode said something else. Let's see. Seems like they took a major group of the development team and worked on gameplay and focus. It does. It really feels like, man, and it's funny. I'm actually going to mention it to him, and I'm curious to see what he's going to say. I told it to Clint, but I'm going to mention it to Rex himself. It literally seems like this would have been the year that Rex would have campaigned for. Literally seems like what they did was just attack gameplay fixes and bugs. And they spent a cycle doing that. That's what it really feels like. Because I know some people are just going to be, oh, it's the same game. Okay, that's how you feel, great. But there's definitely things that are. I just didn't. I wouldn't imagine that I was going to see this in a Madden product. No. And let me give shout outs to DJ too, man. I saw him post a clip. You're absolutely right. There is a situation sometimes that this animation is triggering where they go to catch the ball like this and the ball is hitting their arms. That animation should not play out in that situation. Like the guy's wide open, right? Mm-hmm. And all he has to do is turn and catch the ball like this, but for whatever reason, they flip him into this animation and the ball is hitting his arm. And I actually had it happen to me the other day, and I'm like, oh, that's what DJ was talking about. So yeah, that kind of stuff y'all need to clean up. Get the right animations to trigger, because there's no reason for them to go into that. No receiver in the world gonna try to catch the ball like that when the ball is clearly coming right at them. There's no reason to stretch out for it when the ball is right here. But my man Neff in the building.
So Neff.
But yeah, man, that's how we feel largely. Like I said, man, I apologize, guys, that the show is not as long as it once was, but Thursday nights have gotten a little more complex for me. But I think we covered pretty much everything. And it is going to be on the same engine. I mean, we told y'all that. Mm-hmm. I knew that before EA announced it. There's no only way it would be on another engine is if they are secretly creating an engine, which in turn would still be the one that Madden runs on. They're not going to have two games in the same building in the same studio. One plays on this gameplay engine and this one plays on the other. No, they're not doing that. So only hope you got for that is they keep saying it will be on the Madden engine. They're not saying the current engine. So what if they've been, because
Battlefield did it and you saw what they're able to do because they stripped. Because remember when we marveled over there and the frostbite and the weather and all that stuff. And remember, the core engine that they started from was Madden. It was Madden's engine. They just gutted it out and stripped it down and built it up for FPS.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, like we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not holding out on that to happen.
They've been working on the game for a while. I will say that. I got some information a while back, and of course I didn't share it because it was a private conversation. But just understand this, that the college game wasn't just in the work starting like last year.
Yeah.
It's been something that was coming. They were just waiting to announce. And maybe, I don't know the answer to this. I'm just saying maybe it is some other, who knows? Maybe there's another engine that's been built that both Madden and the college game will be on. I don't know.
That'd be awesome.
That to me would be the only possible way that college is quote unquote on a separate engine, but they both would still be using it, if that makes sense. But don't take what I said as any type of, I don't know. That is pure guessing. I'm just saying, to me, that's the only way we're going to see a gameplay engine that's not what we're currently seeing today in Madden. So, never. Women's softball, man. And some of y'all was around when that comment was made a while back, and so that's an inside joke that we all shared. But all right, man, we're gonna wrap this thing up. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully next week we'll be back, and if so, Brett is gonna come on the show. We're gonna chop it up. If for any reason I can't make it next week, then whenever the next show is, we're gonna have him on. And I promise y'all too, man, because I forgot this too. See, I every week I'm hit up Smitty on Thursday what we want to talk about. I totally forgot last week that I said, hey, man, we should just do a show on Blog Talk and let people call in. I totally forgot that.
Yeah.
But let's say we'll do that in the next month.
Yeah, there we go.
Because I can funnel, StreamYard. I can funnel this layout through OBS. And so, we'd be able to hear y'all on the phone and all that. So we'll figure it out. But all right, man, y'all be good. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. God bless. And good night. And hopefully this game will improve this cycle as well as next.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.